Welcome back to MarkOneModels and to our first ever holiday episode. Today we're going to be covering another vehicle I made as part of the Freiberger Finnegan series of builds. This one came from Roadkill Season 5, Episode 1, and as it starts off in the snow, is appropriate for this time of year. Today we will be doing the Hairy Tow tow truck. In the episode, they acquired a 1971 F350 tow truck that the original owner had converted to four-wheel drive and had created the entire tow bed himself. They were going to use this to pick up the 1950 GMC truck known as Pigpen. Ultimately, they decided that Harry was not safe enough to complete the task, but they had a great adventure as always. For the build, I was unaware of any crew cab kits out there, so I did what any adventurous model builder would do: make my own from two kits. I scooped up two of the Mobius 1972 F250 snowplow kits. This was the right body, was already a 4x4, and with two of them, I'd have no problem making the rear axle a dually like Hairy Tow. The first part of this would be making the crew cab. I marked and masked both cabs and used a jeweler's saw to make the cuts from top to bottom on each. I gave them a mild block sanding to make sure all the surfaces were flat so the two would join together with minimal putty. I used styrene strips on the inside to help join the cabs together and to give them strength. Some putty work for the joints and styrene rod to remake the drip rails, and the cab was looking pretty good. Hairy Tow has a minor dent in the right front underneath the grille, so I added that to mine. Likewise, the driver's side front fender has some rot, so I ground out from the back with my Dremel, poked through with a razor blade to simulate the rot hole. I then set out to fabricate the tow bed. I used the wheel arches from the Mobius kit and started cutting sheet styrene to make the bed, floor, and sides. I used more sheet styrene to complete the wheel tubs and some square rod to reinforce the edges of the bed. I then went about creating the rails of the bed with more square rod and some wire cut to simulate the supports. The front of the bed had decorative S-coil rod, so I created that with wire as well. The boom of the tow truck was created with square tube stock and an eye-hole bolt slid in the end. I 3D printed the winch and used wire for the tow cables. The toolbox was created from sheet styrene. The front bar of the boom, again, was square tubing. The lights on either side of it were scratch built, and the beacon was from the parts bin. All metal loops were added from wire. The safety hooks were made from pieces of wire, and the chains on them were taken from the plow assembly for the Mobius kit. I extended the frame by taking both frames from the kits, cutting them down, and joining where appropriate. I also created the front push bar bumper from rectangular stock and sheet styrene cut into strips. The angles in the front bumper were achieved by doing pie cuts on the backside, bending, and then gluing in place. The rubber on the front of the bumper is actual rubber. I cut down a pair of black neoprene gloves and cut a piece to shape. Those gloves got used again in the back for the bumper carrier straps, sandwiched in between some styrene sheet. It's why they flex so nicely. The interior was relatively straightforward. I created the crew cab floor by cutting and joining both floors together. And I also cut the door cards and joined them to make the crew cab doors. Hairy Tow's back seat had a seat cover on it, so I made sure to recreate that with decals from my trim. While not pictured, I did choose to hide my joinery in the roof by making a full headliner for the cab. Decals for the body were printed on white decal paper, and I tried to match the red as well as I could. It's not a perfect match, and unfortunately you can see the edges of the decals since the cuts make the white appear from the white decal. With final assembly came weathering. I made sure to use various dusts and rusts to give it that aged look. The rear of the tow bed was scuffed to give it more realistic wear. I even masked the windshield and sprayed with some dull coat to give it that dirty look except for where the wipers would have cleaned it. Antennas were from my parts bin. I cut them down to fit inside the display case. In retrospect, I would have preferred acquiring some of the tunable hobby antennas, as those always look so good. With that, Hairy Toe was complete. How do you think it turned out? What would you do different? How would you have overcome the white on red decal issues? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. As always, feel free to give a like and subscribe and share with your friends. I hope you all have a safe and happy holiday season, and thank you for watching Mark One Models.